Hello, soccer fans. It's a great night for soccer in Baltimore as tonight the Baltimore Blast take on the Rochester Lancers. It's a special night here in Baltimore as well, Hall of Fame night, as Blast assistant coach David Bascom, Blast athletic trainer Martin McGinty, and our co-announcer here on the broadcast, Lee Tashantaret, all inducted into the Blast Hall of Fame at halftime tonight. Paul Mittermeier, Andrew Primrose along with you as well. And Andrew, just a special night tonight. They announced all of the Hall of Famers in attendance tonight. They had a alumni game before tonight's match and special ceremonies at halftime here for the Blast.
Yeah, pretty incredible evening when you see guys that were playing here when I was a child, and then guys that played when my kids were young and came here and watched. It's just generations. This team's been around since the 80s and has built such a tremendous fan base. So to see those guys come back, see the crowd show up here for that is fantastic. And we got to be really happy. Our broadcast partner Lee going in tonight, you know, a lot of fans currently probably know him as a great announcer, but not realizing that when he retired, he was still 6th on the modern-day scoring record for the Blast, 123 goals, 125 assists, and he also owns the MISL league record for all-time penalty minutes.
There you go.
Retired with that. So Lee obviously earned his spot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that'll be a special night for him and his family.
Two-way player, no question about it. As you saw Martin McGinty there banging the drum to get things underway here tonight in Baltimore. Andrew, it's a playoff atmosphere, obviously, because the Blast are in a playoff battle with Harrisburg for that number 4 spot in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, it's playoff soccer all the way through. The Blast don't have any games off, and you saw that last week, and they had to play the 3-3. We talked about it extensively, and they almost lost one to this Rochester team. Rochester playing the best game of their season, and the Blast were taken to overtime. The Rochester scoring 3 goals in the 4th quarter. They got up early on the Blast, then fell behind, and then came back and tied it with about a minute and a half left, sent it to overtime. The Blast lucky to get out of there with a win and keep their playoff hopes alive, but they cannot have a letdown here at home. This is a must-win game. Every game for the Blast the rest of the way is must-win.
No doubt Rochester starts with it here. There's Brian Wilkin, the keeper for Rochester. Blast flick it out of their own side. Running header here, put back into the Blast end and gobbled up by William Van Zella. Ball into the Rochester side, and Donatelli keeps it alive.
Doug Miller has done a great job. The Blast and Rochester have had a couple matchups so far this year, and Doug Miller's done a great job of switching it up. And we saw the game a couple weeks ago here where Rochester went with a 3-2 zone and collapsed back behind the yellow line, packed the box. It confounded the Blast, made that game close. And then the game up in Rochester, he went with a high press. And so switching things up here, and it looks like a high press settling into a 2-3 zone for Rochester so far tonight.
Quick shot by Lucas Roquet, and that's gathered in by Wilkin. Ball goes over 2 players and onto the foot of Van Zella. Here comes Roquet out with it. Ball stolen away. Counterattack. Quick shot off the boards. Van Zella gets a paw on that on the drive by Mayanga, and Van Zella brings it out for the Blast onto the foot of Juan Pereira. You mentioned that game in Rochester, back and forth match. The Lancers got the tie late in the 4th, and then the Blast won it on Juan Pereira's strike in overtime. But Blast giving up a couple power play goals in that game. They gave up some power play goals in the game at Harrisburg on Sunday last week. We're going to have to figure out their penalty kill here as they keep going towards trying to make a playoff spot.
I mean, they have 3 playoff games to end the season here. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That game in Harrisburg next week is going to be huge, but it doesn't matter if they don't win this game tonight.
Well, deflected off of Rayleigh, comes back for Mello. Mello down the wing. A touch for Dantas. Double team on Vinny. Ball taken away. Rayleigh covers up defensively as he runs Godoy off the ball. And Van Zella has it. Victor France nearly turns it over. Good play there. Ball goes out of play off the boards. It'll be a Rochester kick-in, but good play defensively there. Although say off of
switched,
Rochester.
yeah. And Rochester didn't argue it, so interesting. I thought for sure it was clearly a Rochester restart. But
let's bring our broadcast partner Lee Tashantaret in. Lee, first of all, what an alumni game as we see a quick shot here by the Blast, and then awesome job of bringing all you guys back, announcing you before the game. What an experience, huh?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Great seeing the guys. One of the only negative parts about being a pro is when your career ends and everybody kind of scatters. So it was great seeing everybody.
I just can't get used to seeing Doug Neely without hair. It's just
I know.
I've been used to you without hair, but Doug's just a whole nother story. But awesome atmosphere. Of course, you will be inducted into the Hall of Fame at halftime. You got your speech ready. You got your tuxedo on the back of the chair here. So I know you're ready to go as the Blast continue to try to solve Rochester. We were talking about it, Lee. This is playoff atmosphere. I mean, they have to win. The Blast have to win their last 3 games to have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking with Doug Miller before the game, just catching up with Doug, old teammate, great guy. And what a great opportunity for his team, right? So they're coming in thinking, hey, we can be spoilers here, and everybody in the league will be talking about us if we can upset the Blast. So.
Yep, Rochester looking for their first win of the season. It would be a huge one here in Baltimore. There's a drive off the post by Raley. Nascimento now. Cross field. Here's Raley again. Good defensive play. Ball kicked away by Rochester, and Vanzella flicks it back into the Rochester side. Quick off the boards and front shot and a goal! It's Vinny Dantas, and the Blast are up 1-0.
In a do-or-die game, Paul, that's exactly what you need. Kind of get the jitters out, get an early goal. What Rochester's hoping is, to keep it 0-0 as long as possible.
And William able to get the ball deep into the corner, and then the Blast used the boards to get a ball out in front for their first goal of the game. Yeah,
William does a great job. Distribution down to Mello, who had a fantastic touch, and then just laid it in the middle, and easy tap in for Dantas.
Vinny Dantas, goal number 35 on the season. And Jonathan Mello picks up assist number 22 on the year. And for Jonathan Mello, that ties a career high in assists with 22. He ties last year's assist total. And Lee, we talk about Jonathan Mello being the distributor, 44 assists in the last 2 seasons for Mello.
Yeah, he's a crafty player, very unselfish, has just very good vision and good touch on the ball. He really is able to give players the ball with the right weight at the right opportunity at the right time.
Ball deflected into the Rochester end, run down in the corner. And Lancers clear. So Berto will run off the ball, and it finds the foot of Vanzella. So Santos down the wing, it goes through. Chance for France now, 2-on-1. Victor to the box in front. Quick back heel by Mello. Roque couldn't handle that one, but he scores on the rebound, and the Blast lead at 2-0.
What a great start here in the first, 5 minutes or so. At least, what would you say, 4 or 5 great opportunities to score, 2 really nice goals.
Yeah, look at Roque drag the ball back. And the ball came off the boards there, and just nice touch with the right foot to the corner, no chance for Wilkin. And yeah, you can't ask for a better start here tonight on Hall of Fame night.
Well, Lee, right on your cue, you talk about what a crafty player Mello was. He sets an entire scoring opportunity up on a play where he doesn't touch the ball. He's running towards it, recognizes the defender's coming on, he's going the wrong way, lets it go through his legs and sends it down to Victor France to set up that play. He runs it down all the way. Just brilliant field awareness by him.
Yeah, actually, if you watch that play, he actually clipped it between his heels. So he kind of let that go through his legs and clipped it between his heels. That's just the kind of player he is. He's confident on the ball. He's got really good vision. He has the ability to have those little tricky flicks and nicks.
Well, there's a mistake by the Blast as Pereira puts it into the crowd. Defensive clearance, so we'll get a top-of-the-arc restart for Rochester. Jeremy Ortiz onto the field for the Lancers.
Cunningham's had some strikes off these.
3-man wall for the Blast. Ortiz leaves it. Cunningham's shot is blocked. And it'll force Rochester back to the yellow line. Turnover here. Pereira gets a foot on it. And Jawan, the offensive end, run off by Cunningham, keeps it alive. Here's Mello. Mello cuts it back. Loose in front, and Ortiz does a nice job to run that down. Vanzella way off his line. Steal by Rochester, but the Blast able to recover defensively. Drive boy Ortiz is knocked down, and Nascimento in the box able to scoop it up.
I tell you, it's a great job by Guernsey early on when William came out to slide and not let the Rochester player get that shot off into an empty net.
Vanzello scoops it off the board, sends it to the far corner. Roque tries to settle, but he can't. Instead, it goes to Wilkin, and his quick distribution to the other end. Rayleigh battling. Now Nascimento chests it down right into the hands of Vanzello. Or that's Victor France with a drive with the left foot, and Wilkin parries that well over the glass to the near side.
So Victor France chests the ball down to Vanzello, turns around, sprints full speed, gets the distribution at the yellow line, and takes the shot all in the span of about 6 seconds. And people don't like playing soccer in this arena.
France down the wing, off the boards. Roque cut off, and Blast still control. Good defensive play by Wolanski. Here's Roque now. Fancy footwork. Cuts towards the middle. Dos Santos on the far side. Now France leaves it for NDI. Mo drives it into the Blast logo on the championship banner for the 83-84 championship team. And we'll have a goalkeeper distribution for Rochester. Brian Wilkin, 0-11 on the season, 948 goals against average, 609 save percentage. William Vanzello, 13-7 on the year, 453 goals against average, 703 save percentage. And he also has 2 goals. Pereira to the middle. It's off the foot of a defender, Sean Hentes, and into the goal. 3-0 Blast.
Yeah, good transition by the Blast, but unfortunate. It's just a play that you have a player who's probably not real familiar with indoor. His body shape is wrong. If his body shape is right, he can probably clear that ball off, but unfortunate, clears it into his own net, little deflection.
3-0 Blast. Juan Pereira with his 19th goal of the season. Time of the goal, 6:59. And the Blast off on the right foot here at home on Hall of Fame night. There's the replay, and that's just an unfortunate bounce.
No.
Lancers try to counter. Swings around the turn for August Finn. He plays it back for his defender, Mayanga. His pass through the box.
First shift of the night. It's been a while since the big forwards played a home game.
Yeah, it's a while since we've seen Andrew.
Got the start in Rochester last week, but
good ball by Vanzello for the far side to Pereira. Pereira and Rayleigh switch. Here's Hoxie off the boards in front. That's blocked. Right back to the foot of Hoxie. Now Pereira has it near the yellow line. Nascimento. Touch to the corner, off the boards in front. Shot and oh! The give and go. Nascimento and Hoxie. Marco scores. It's 4-0 Blast.
You gotta love the intensity, right? You gotta love the intensity and the focus. Sometimes when you come in and a team doesn't have a good record, sometimes your intensity, your execution kind of falters a little bit, but the Blast has been hungry to put this game away early.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one, 2. 7:10 left in the first. Blast on front, on top, 4-0 back with more. You're watching Blast Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
No.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes!
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles. Plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes!
Now welcome back to Baltimore. 4-0 Blast over the Lancers. It's 4 different goal scorers. Dantas, Roque, Pereira, and Nascimento. Got the Blast on the board and rolling here in the first quarter here on Hall of Fame night. And you mentioned it, Lee, you know, sometimes you play a team that's 0-19 and you're kind of lackluster, but these guys come out on fire. And that was a textbook indoor soccer play from Hoxie to Nascimento for that last goal.
No, listen, a really good sign how laser focused they are right now. I think they understand they want to try to put this game to bed so, they don't make any mistakes and kind of move on to the next one. That's what it takes to win a championship, right? So they're fighting for that last playoff spot. It's great to see that they have this laser focus for this game.
Let's talk about the playoffs for a second, because the Blast and Harrisburg are battling for the number 4 spot. Blast are 13-8, Harrisburg 12-7. And the two teams meet next Saturday night here in Baltimore, and it will be a dogfight next Saturday night because Harrisburg owns the tiebreaker right now, but the Blast can change all that next week.
Yeah, they still hold, their future in their own hands, which is great. They're not waiting for anybody else to win or do any of that stuff. But Harrisburg has a little bit more of a difficult situation ahead of them than the Blast has.
No, the Blast have just these 3 games tonight, and then Harrisburg next week, and then Milwaukee. The Heat have 2 matchups with Utica. They also have the Wave, and they have the Blast next week as well. So there's just so many ways it can go. And the other part to this, Lee, is that Milwaukee has only played 16 games. They have 8 games left, including 2 West Coast games this weekend. They could come into play as well if they don't win on the West Coast this weekend.
And add in the fact that Utica's got 8 games and 22 games remaining as well. That's a lot of things open.
All those factors bode well for the Blast because these teams aren't going to come in and say, okay, I got the playoffs locked up, so they're going to need wins. So all this does play in favor for the Blast.
Collision in the box, and Van Zell was able to come in on the top end of that one.
Yeah, that was a brave challenge by William there. He kind of looks a little bit shaken.
Foul called on Dantas on the far side now, so kick in for Rochester.
So, Paul, you talked about the tiebreaker, and of course the first tiebreaker head-to-head, but you and I figured out now with the season head-to-head goal differential now, the Blast either need to win that game by more than 4 goals against Harrisburg to get the head-to-head advantage, or they need to win by more than 10-6 if they win by 4.
Yeah, and Lee, we were talking about that. It could be a situation next Saturday where the Blast are up 3 goals and go 6th attacker in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. It could present itself a kind of a weird situation where you're pulling your 6th attacker when you're up by 3 goals.
We'll see how all that plays out next Saturday night. Of course, Pat Healy in the crowd tonight here in Baltimore. Head coach of the Harrisburg Heat. Here's Pereira, turns, shoots, and scores! Number 2 for Jawan, and it's 5-0 Blast.
Jawan has been on a scoring streak here last few games, I think, correct?
He has.
He's been putting the ball in the net. It's just rewards for a player who just really is so selfless and works up and down the field.
And this is all individual effort as he gets enough out into the middle of the box to get some space and score. And that's goal number 20 on the season for Jawan Pereira.
Last goal scored by number 22 with his second goal.
Just so patient, so smooth. No pressure at all, just all time.
Assist to number 23, Jonathan Mello, tied for the last 5th goal.
Pereira now 4 goals in his last 3 games for the Blast.
Paul, those are the nuances of the indoor game, right? So to be fair, the Rochester player is back and he's in decent position, but he doesn't know to kind of log roll, right? You got to get down there, right? You got to get down to block that shot, try to make yourself as big as possible, and then leave your keeper with the shot up high. That just comes with, playing games.
Goalkeeper distribution here for Van Zella. Over the top for Donatelli. It hits the corner of the boards, comes free. Rochester steals, out they come, but denied by Nascimento. And finally, they swing it near side for Osmic. Zikrit Osmic. His pass goes through the box. Quick chip by Van Zella. That's cut off and stolen away. Silberto has his pass taken away. Dos Santos, foul called on Adriano as he tripped up Rieger.
Now, Paul, I'm gonna learn from you last week. So you played at halftime, and I saw you sitting down. You got all stiff. So now, so I don't stiffen up. I'm not sitting down.
Let's talk about that for a second because, Lee, I did see you score a goal in the alumni game, but the bigger story may have been your two sons who were playing goal, who were dominating the game on both ends.
And neither of them are goalkeepers. They just shoot against each other, or my oldest son is in college now, but they spent years shooting against each other in the yard, so they love pretending they're keepers.
Honestly, it looked like Paul and I out there. I mean, just display of athleticism.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And then,
Mirror image.
and we do have to recognize the incredible hairstyle of your oldest son, Massimo.
Yeah, Massi's got, he's 6'2", and with the hair, he's 6'6". he's got a good afro going.
Hey, way to get that Fletch reference in there, Lee.
Exactly. I knew you would get it.
Ball comes to the box, and Vanzella sweeps it through. Vicious tackle in the corner. Dos Santos goes down hard with Ortiz, and they just play on.
Yeah, that was an interesting tackle for there not to be a call. I'm not sure who it would have went on, so it's probably...
tough break there. The ball deflected into the back of the net. And Dos Santos is giving it to the referee. Vanzella's giving it to the referee. But the Rochester Lancers celebrate a goal. I'm not even sure who's going to get the goal, to tell you the truth.
I think it was one of the Lancer players that went off his stomach.
Now 24, it's Finn. August Finn deflected it past Vanzella off the clear. Oh,
yep.
Ended him in a, hey, if you're going to score, it's worth it, right?
Yeah. He took it and
he took it.
Step up and got a goal.
He took it all right.
Rochester goal.
Counts as much as a bicycle.
There you go.
August Finn, unassisted. Time the Lancers' first goal, 12-01.
Hantis comes out. Cunningham on the far side. Lancers try to build on this now. They get the first goal of the game. Still trail 5-1. Pressure by the Blast. Good clear, but onto the foot of Rayleigh. Rayleigh, some room. Dantas cross. And this time, Hantis breaks that up.
I'm absolutely loving the relentless pressure that the Blast is applying here.
There's the counter, quick shot and a goal, and just like that,
Wow.
Demidiv scores, and his second goal of the season has cut the lead to 5-2.
Just as I talk about the pressure, they're pressing them and have them in a good situation, and they get broken down.
So 2 goals in 45 seconds for Rochester. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-2 game.
I tell you, Paul, you got to give Doug Miller a lot of credit here. Look, I've been on really bad teams, and your team is 0-19. This team fights. This team is working hard. So whatever he's doing, he's definitely created a good culture, a good atmosphere within his team.
France down the wing, he hits the post. Dos Santos a drive that's off the boards. Flicked ahead, possible 2-on-1 now. Lancers can't take advantage though, and Blast try to clear. Roque steals along the boards. Rochester gets it back. Far side. Dos Santos goes down. Foul called on Adriano. A lot of contact early on in this game.
It is. It's interesting. I'm enjoying the pressure that the Blast is putting on the Lancers. I'm waiting for it to get a little, to get some dividends from it. It seems like they haven't really gotten a bounce here or there, but the Blast has hit the post how many times already this first quarter?
A couple times, yeah.
I think 3 or 4.
There's France, he goes down. Up comes Rochester, chance again. Donatelli steps in on that, he's held, and they'll finally make the call.
Yeah, that was a good call. I think Rich was waiting to see if he had an advantage, and then he realized there was no advantage, so he made that call. I think the Blast is getting caught with lack of balance right now.
Okay, trips Ortiz.
Pushing down on the last number 8, Lucas Roque. Free kick, Rochester.
109 left in the first. Blast lead at 5-2. 7 goals in this first quarter. And this is the kind of game we usually expect when you talk about a small field, and we've seen that here tonight.
Yeah, it is hectic, up and down.
Pereira swings it to NDI. Quick touch for Donatelli. Far side for Dos Santos. Pereira backs it up. Last 3 sets. Here's Dantas. Vinny turns. Can't find an angle. Plays it NDI. NDI off the boards in front. Nice D there. Kicked away by Ortiz. Now Pereira again with 30 left in the quarter. Dupes down the wing. Now brings it back to the midfield. Quick touch Rayleigh for Dantas for Rayleigh and a goal! Oh, Dantas off the boards for Rayleigh, and it's 6-2 Blast.
Great composure by Vinny, Paul. So Vinny was looking to play that one-time ball, and the defender cut it off. He was calm enough to step on the ball, turn, and then go off the boards.
There's the replay, and I think Rayleigh got it with the left foot for Jeremy Rayleigh, his 2nd goal of the season. Nice touch here by Dantas. He does get it with the left foot. And for Vinny Dantas, assist number 15, and ties a career high for Vinny. 15 assists in the season.
So that goal is not created if Jeremy plays that ball and stands, right? So he plays that ball, he makes a run, he makes the defender make a decision, and then Vinny, great ball, great goal.
Last goal scored by number 13, Jeremy Rayleigh.
False start here on the Lancers.
Can you shoot from midfield in any other league? From the kickoff?
No.
And actually have it be a danger?
No, not any chance. Demidiv. Forced back by NDI. 8 seconds left. Wilkin. Near side. Will they get a chance here? 2 seconds. 1 second. Pereira steals. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So the Blast put 6 on the board in quarter number 1. They're off to the races here on Hall of Fame night. They lead at 6-2 over the Lancers. Back with second quarter action after the break. You're watching Blast Soccer on NBC Sports Washington. And welcome back to Baltimore. Second quarter action. Blast and Lancers. Blast lead at 6-2. Dantas Roque Pereira, he's got 2. And Rayleigh with the goals for the Blast. Blast out shooting Rochester 11-5. 4 fouls for the Blast, 1 for Rochester, and 2 saves apiece, or 3 saves for Wilkin, 2 saves for Vanzella. Here we go, Dantas on the far side. Eludes the double team. Here's Rayleigh. Diesel now, back for Rayleigh. Dantas, quick shot, and Wilkin right there in good position to make the save.
So I'll be interested, Paul, to see what Danny's talk was about at the end of the quarter. Do they want to? I obviously think they want to continue to pressure them when they're on the defensive end, but offensively, I feel like even though they scored 6 goals, there were a lot of turnovers, a lot of rushing. So I want to see if they actually open them up, try to spread them out.
Good pressure by Rochester. They get the steal. Give it right back, though. Here's Diesel. And he'll find his partner, Rayleigh, on that back line. Quick touch for Victor France. France gets pushed from behind. Good D by Silberto. Rayleigh with the 1 touch to the far side for Victor. Roque turns off the boards in front. No one home for the Blast. Keep it alive. Rayleigh still has it. Does a nice job to win it and keep it alive.
Lucas has such a smooth turn. When that ball comes in, he steps on it and turns all in one motion. It's not as easy as it looks.
Oh, dangerous pass there by Vanzella, and it's a turnover for the Blast.
Yeah, Jeremy did really well there to kind of just get it out of the defensive end. He just kind of flicked it behind his back.
Harling for the far side now for Godoy. He'll drive one, and Vanzella gets a hand on that. Follow up. That's parried up into his body by Vanzella, and he catches it.
What a great save by William. Great concentration level. He's on his backside and still concentrating on the ball.
Not just to save, but just not to give up a rebound.
Absolutely. No, that was fantastic.
Give and go. Pereira tries for Mello, but that's stolen away. Rochester now trying to get back in this one. Down 6-2. Blast are pressuring. Pereira, helter-skelter right now on Ortiz.
Yep. Putting Ortiz under pressure, trying to make him make a decision.
Just giveaway here. Dos Santos steps over the ball.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Adriano read that one, ready to take it in for a 3v2 and just kind of stepped on the ball.
Vanzella for Mello into space. Nice job there.
Adriano was already running the offense there before he received the ball.
Yeah.
Juan, Vanzella. Too far for Dos Santos, but Adriano reads it well and wins the ball back for the Blast.
I think they need to start trying to put one of the forwards in the middle of the park as they're working the ball out here, and I think it would be an easy 1-2 out of problem.
Well, Blast in a little disarray right now, but finally they clear it. Too far for Dantas, but it gets the job done, and Rochester scrambling to win the ball, and then they force it into the far side. NDI, quick turn, has that stripped.
NDI's hurt. He's laboring as he's out there. He can't run full speed at all.
Cunningham's shot is blocked. Yeah, and here comes Muhammad off to the bench, really favoring that left leg.
His left calf or knee. He's grabbing for. Keep that in mind. His Clue out tonight, so the Blast a little short on the defensive end. No Richard Schmerman either.
Rochester with possession now. Quick drive, that's blocked. Dantas with a turn. Pereira off to the races in the offensive end. Juan off the boards in front by Dantas. Diesel with a drive just over the crossbar.
Nice strike by Mike, sorry. Jimmy's his brother. I had both of them in class.
Rayleigh for Victor France. Nice touch. Another nice touch off the boards. Nifty footwork there by Victor.
Yeah, but the Blast is out of sorts a little bit here. Their balance is off. Their movement's a little bit off.
Quick turn is just wide. Victor with the left foot.
tell you what, Rochester, I've been watching on the shifts. They're getting really taking a lot of liberties on the shifts and running out of the box while the guys are coming over, and they're a good 10, 15 feet away from the bench. That'll be something to keep an eye on, is they're using every bit of the leeway that they get from coming on and off.
Interesting. Mayanga far side. Cuts it to the corner. Good ball here. Shot blocked by Beager. And then a cross again for Mayanga on the far side. So some good possession time here for the Lancers.
Yeah, good possession by the Lancers, but the Blast seems out of sorts with their rotation. They're kind of second to the ball when the ball is being played off the boards.
Well, Lancers turn it over, and Victor France goes down, got pushed in the back. It'll be a free kick for the Blast in the midfield.
So, Paul, did you play with that ball when you played at halftime?
Yeah.
It's very light.
Yeah, it is. It is. I almost think I didn't even have to wear goalie gloves because, I mean...
You didn't touch the ball?
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry.
I don't know. I remember shedding somebody in the box pretty easy.
I only needed the gloves for when people were in my way in the box.
Ah, all right. We're going fight jokes now.
Restart Blast. Donatelli has it poked away. Dos Santos forced back. Manzella fakes to the one side and then comes the other side to Roque. Off the boards in front, here's Pereira drive, Wilkin the save. Roque shot off Wilkin and off the post.
Ow.
Two fantastic saves, both shots. Jawan's shot was fantastic. That was going side netting. What a great reaction. Really strong arm there, and then to get up and to make another reaction save. Two great saves there.
NDI back on the floor. Down the floor for Mello. That was a great play by Roque to set all that up. Pereira now run off. Good defense by Finn. Now Roque touches back for Pereira, and Rayleigh comes all the way back to the goal line.
Well, Lee, you mentioned it, and you're absolutely right. Doug Miller's got to be very happy with the effort his guys are putting in right now. They easily could have packed it in as they fell behind quickly. We're going to delay a game.
No, absolutely. I mean, look at you. You can tell that he's doing something right. Look at this is a young group. They don't train every day. Not a lot of indoor experience or professional experience for that matter, either indoor or outdoor. And they are working hard. They're working hard for each other, staying positive. Doug's doing a good job with this group.
Diesel now in the midfield. France. Dantas up front for the Blast here on this shift. He's got it. Oh, he tries for it now, but it goes around him. He does a good job, though, to not allow it to the keeper. And eventually the Blast win the possession back.
I think this is what the Blast needs to do, Paul. They need to bring them out, right? They need to sharpen up their passing, sharpen up their movement a little bit, but they have to have a little patience, draw them out. I think they had success with a couple counters early, and now that's all they want to do.
Touched by Dantas for Mello. Jonathan gets kicked a couple times, and finally they blow the whistle foul on Cunningham.
It's a nice side volley to Mello's ribs there. That's good technique.
Mello for Dantas. Touch for Rayleigh, and now back for Dantas. Back heel to Mello. Mello's drive is blocked. Oh, Rayleigh was lurking, and then Dantas hits it wide.
I think the keeper might have made a save there, Paul.
You got a hand on that?
I know. I think he got a foot on that one.
Midway through the second, Blast lead at 6-2. Good touch. Dantas for Mello, but he can't do anything with it. Now comes Rochester on the counter. They cut it to the near side. And a foul called here on Dantas. And this will be a good restart opportunity for Rochester right near the corner of the box.
Good opportunity for Rochester, but I got to say, Victor France did a great job there defending a 2v1. So he did a great job of delaying and taking that passing lane away.
We saw this last chance there before we got the birthdays. Three-man wall for the Blast, and a timeout on the field for Rochester.
Very special happy birthday to Amelia Kaplan, who is 4 years old today. Happy birthday from the Baltimore Blast. We hope all of you
So
enjoy
Lee's going to head on down
tonight's game.
for the Hall of Fame ceremonies here while we have the timeout. We'll take a timeout too here as there's a timeout on the field. 6:53 left in the second. It's Blast 6, Lancers 2. Back with more on NBC Sports Washington.
Rochester.
No, 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 no.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles. Plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes.
Welcome back to Baltimore, where the Blast lead it over the Rochester Lancers. 6-2 is our score. All 8 goals scored in the first quarter. No goals so far here in the second quarter. Don't forget about the MASL podcast. We'll talk to players, coaches, and officials from across the league and take you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com. Listen to past episodes. Subscribe to the official MASL podcast on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, every Saturday morning, outside of being on the team, the best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Soccer Sam, discussing the in and outs of all the MASL action. Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio. And you know what, Andrew? We talk about Rochester struggling on the field, but what a job Sam and the rest of the group's doing in Rochester off the field, getting fans to the games. And they're really into it up there, even though the team has struggled on the field this year.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, look at as William will step all the way out. It gets a little tricky when he does this, but he's done it several times on those short restarts.
Well, I'll tell you what, instead of doing the 3-man wall, they kind of fan out and let William be the wall there. And it worked out for him that time.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about the job they do off the field. And that's been the case the whole time as Rochester's John Pereira has a break, goes all the way down off the post.
Oh, hit the post on the far side around the turn. You know how hard it is to do that?
I don't even know how the ball bounced that way.
Cunningham cuts it to the middle. Ortiz just misses. And Mayanga on the far side now. 6:20 left in the quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the sad part for Rochester to me is when they had the break in the indoor game, and, you know, Soccer Sam detailed that a lot on his show, what happened there. They were starting to build momentum. They made the playoffs as a 500 team. They were starting to build momentum, and I think he'll get back to that. They've had some good players there. They just need that consistency, and Lee's talked about the growth that they're experiencing now with these young players. If they keep doing all the great things they do off the field, on the field will come eventually.
Yeah, no doubt. Blast have it in their own end. Driven up to Roque. 3-line pass as NDI was getting ready to tee it up.
3-line violation, Blast. Free kick.
We'll see that often from Adriano. Usually the visiting teams will be the one that does that.
All right, so we go restart. Yellow line, 2-man wall for the Blast. Drive into the wall. Now Ortiz gets the rebound.
Like Mayanga and Ortiz weren't on the same page with who's making their run.
Lancers still have it. Mayanga. 5:35 left in the second quarter. It's amazing how this game works sometimes. Good save by Vanzella. 8 goals in the first quarter, none here in the second. Good cut. NDI for Roque. Lucas down the wing. Double team. Taken away. NDI steps in. Lucas gets it back. Blast have possession.
Well, I mean, if you're the Blast, how many times can you almost score in this quarter?
Yeah, that's true.
Done everything but put the ball in the goal.
They hit the post about 3 times in the second quarter. Here's Rayleigh. Back for Mello. Now Roque on the far side. Under 5 to play first half. Of course, we'll have the Hall of Fame speeches for you at the half down on the field. Off the boards in front, that's kicked away. Roque was right there in the top of the box waiting to put that home. Up comes Rochester. Good pressure by Rayleigh, foul called.
Now, Paul, is there any truth? I heard you were down with David before the game. Is there any truth to saying his speech is running about an hour and 15 minutes?
No. It's not
He's
that
not
long.
doing the Ray Lewis.
No.
Okay.
No, he's not gonna get the headset
wireless
mic
headphone?
in.
No.
That's not happening.
All right.
But it will be David first, and then Martin McGinty, and then we'll hear from Lita Chantarek to wrap things up.
Melo and Silberto not liking each other.
Silberto gave him the two-handed shove there. Be a free kick for the Blast in the midfield.
On Rochester's number 13, Frankie Silberto. Free kick Blast.
Pereira looking for the hat. Yeah, Pereira looking for the hat trick, Andrew. Nascimento
He did that the last home game here, too.
in the first quarter, right?
Yeah. Against Orlando before the 3-game road trip.
Yeah, remember that? Jawan had the hat trick in the first quarter, and Vinny Dantas had the second half hat trick. Nascimento now. Back heel for Dos Santos. Quick touch by Dantas is blocked away. Ball still loose. Wilkin goes down. He sold that one as Donatelli kicked it out of his hands.
I thought Wilkins was pretty clearly outside the box there when he touched that with his hand. I think that's what Tony Donatelli was arguing too, but
Donatelli clears to the midfield. Pereira runs on. Here's Jawan. Jawan shoots, save! Wilkin as he came out top of the box and cut the angle down.
yeah, that's a fantastic save from Wilkin as Juwan had the whole goal and Wilkin laid out.
So Santos runs it down in the corner. Dantas helps out, takes it away. 3-on-1 for the Blast. 3-on-2 now. Dantas is fouled and they blow the whistle. I don't know, maybe he should have played on there. What do you think? I think Donatelli's trying to sell it as if you're not going to raise a card, keep playing it until something happens. Dantas was continuing the 3-on-2.
He was in the goal box with possession. Do not agree with that one at all.
Blast have it. 3 minutes to play in the half. Donatelli far side. NDI has it taken away. Counterattack by Rochester. Quick shot blocked. Ortiz will run it down. Battles with Roque. Now Rayleigh takes it away. Rayleigh's drive. That's parried away.
Rayleigh and Diesel, both of them have been teeing off from that back line tonight.
Here's a drive just wide of Vanzella. Here on the other side, Roque can't control. Here, and Rochester has it here with 2:30 left. Amazing with all the action we've had here in the second quarter, no goals.
Wilkin way off his line. Melo gonna make him pay?
No. He's gonna put it up in the stands instead. Dangerous situation there for the Rochester keeper, but Melo couldn't stay over top of the ball there, and with 2:15 left, it'll be a goalkeeper distribution for the Lancers. Wilkin fires to the box.
Diesel and Silberto still going at each other. And Silberto came and two-handed shoved Diesel, and then Diesel somehow gets the foul after.
Well, that's because Diesel steamrolled him after that happened.
Number 20, Mike Diesel. Free kick, Rochester.
Good restart here for the Lancers. Far side corner kick.
Have to keep an eye on that as it's the third time now Silberto's been involved with the Blast player.
To the back, shot blocked in front. And Diesel sweeps it away. Ball lifted towards the Blast side. Melo can't win it. Godoy goes down the wing. That's blocked. Out come the Blast. Diesel tries for Melo, but good read by Harling, and he takes it away for Rochester.
It's kind of interesting. Harley stayed all the way back almost at the yellow line defensively as he was just kind of waiting. It looks like, and here he is again, waiting back at the yellow line as Rochester has two players back behind midfield, even with possession.
Shot deflected to the corner. 1:15 left, first half. Nifty footwork by Roque, who clears it down the field with 1:10 left.
So, I mean, I guess that's the answer for Doug Miller to the counterattack for the Blast is they're playing four players offensively and leaving one back close to the yellow line. Interesting strategy.
Ball comes around the turn into the hands of Vanzella. He fires it down the field for Donatelli. Heads it across the box. That's stolen away. 45 left. Lancers to the goal. Demidiv scores for the second time in the game. And it's 6-3 now. 14-18, time of the goal. Here's a replay. Yeah, it's just a nice counter. And screen. I don't think Williams saw that at all. Roque couldn't block it. And Demidiv scores goal number 2 here tonight, goal number 3 on the season.
You'd like to see Nascimento probably close that out a little more, get a little more space on there. Clearly, Vanzella had no chance on that. See Andrew Hoxie get his second shift of the day. He had an assist his first one.
Lancers come out with it again, but Blast win it back. 30 seconds left. Here comes Hoxie off the boards in front. France can't drive it through. Donatelli with the drive and a goal. Tony Donatelli with the answer. And it's 7-3 Blast.
Blast did well. Andrew Hoxie held it down, created a scoring opportunity. It was turned over and dribbled right back out to Donatelli, who just drives it straight through all the traffic. There you see the scoring opportunity. Kicks back out to Donatelli, and he puts all the pace on. I think it was deflected 2 times here. You'll see it off 2 different defenders, I believe, and right into the back of the net.
Tony did a nice job of finding a good spot for it and staying over top the ball and not putting that one into the crowd from distance. And Donatelli scores goal number 21 on the season. Time to go 14-40.
Number 4, Andrew Hoxie. Time in the last 7th goal, 14-40. Last goal scored by number 11, Tony Donatelli. Assist to number 4.
So 2 goals in 28 or 22 seconds.
After none the whole rest of the quarter.
Yeah. This one blocked away by Dantas. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, comes around the turn, and that'll do it as Mayanga can't get a shot on goal. Now we hit halftime here in Baltimore. 1 goal apiece for the Blast and Lancers in that second quarter. Blast take a 7-3 halftime lead here in Baltimore.
In tonight's second quarter, Rochester 9 for a halftime total of 13, and the Blast 6 for a halftime total of 17.
Blast out shooting Rochester 17-13 after 1 half of play. Well, we'll come back after the break and we'll have Hall of Fame ceremonies for you here in Baltimore as David Bascom, Marty McGinty, and Lee Tashanteret elected and inducted into the Blast Hall of Fame here at halftime tonight. Back with that after the break. Once again, our score at the half, Blast 7, Lancers 3. You're watching Blast Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep their workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our passion and our specialty for more than 100 years. We help protect Maryland workers because connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Our country has changed over the last 80 years. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're not just embracing this change, we're driving it in our own backyard. As a local not-for-profit, we're tackling some of the region's biggest health challenges and making care more accessible for you by providing access to digital tools, transforming healthcare for over 3 million of your neighbors, forging new paths to live fearless. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield.
The story is changing. The words ever evolving. Bolder, braver. We are architects of opportunity, and what we're building is more than buildings. It's pride. College is capable of being more, and every day we're proving it.
Our country has changed over the last 80 years. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're not just embracing this change, we're driving it in our own backyard. As a local not-for-profit, we're tackling some of the region's biggest health challenges and making care more accessible for you by providing access to digital tools, transforming healthcare for over 3 million of your neighbors, forging new paths to live fearless. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield.
While science has become better at treating people, we can't ever forget the importance of how we simply treat people. At MedStar Health, we get that when you need to see a doctor, you might need to see one today. Or if you need help on the weekend, you'll need an urgent care that's, open weekends. And if you need to stay home, then a video visit might be just what you need. The best of our minds, the best of our hearts. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Have a nice round of applause for the Rising Stars dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this very special halftime ceremony as we induct 3 new members into the Baltimore Blast Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will honor 3 new members of the Blast Hall of Fame and welcome back many former Baltimore Blast legends to help us celebrate this very special night. First, let's welcome the owner of your Baltimore Blast, Ed Hale. And we'd also like to welcome the Vice President and General Manager of your Baltimore Blast. What a great job he's done this year, Gianni Tuminello. And we'd also like to welcome the families and friends of our 3 inductees here tonight, namely David Bascombe, Marty McGinty, and Lee Tischantrat. And we're also joined by Hall of Famers and Blast legends. They played in the game earlier today. Let's give it up for your Baltimore Blast legends and Hall of Famers who are here to help celebrate this very special evening. Now, tonight's first inductee played for the Blast from 2003 to 2008. And since 2006, he has been the assistant coach coaching alongside Blast Hall of Famer Danny Kelly. In his Blast career, he had 82 goals, 41 assists, and has won 8 championships as a player and a coach. In addition to coaching, David Bascombe runs the Bascombe Football Leadership Academy. The goal is to give all players the tools to be successful both on and off the field and to be a balanced athlete in the 21st century. Right now, let's direct your attention to Blast Vision for some highlights from David Bascombe. and gentlemen, let's welcome to the podium the newest member of the Blast Hall of Fame, the assistant coach, David Bascombe.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Well, myself and Lee Centra, we used to be linemen, and I always complained about him taking long shifts. So we're going to see tonight. So when he gets up here to speak, please kind of make sure you have your, your clock or your watch running. First of all, I am very humbled of this great honor. And I want to say thank you to my family, my father, my mother, my sister, my brothers, and my better half, Liz Garaudo, my kids. A special friend came here tonight, Jimbo, thanks for coming. My players, my coaches, and especially Danny Kelly for continuing this awesome opportunity. To all the fans that have supported me, and I must give great thanks to my first coach in my professional indoor career, Jim Palahan. It is very important that I acknowledge a believer, a hard worker, and a man with much integrity, Mr. Ed Hale, as he has built a franchise. He has built a franchise that has supported the soccer community. He has built a franchise that has been a stakeholder in building a great soccer community. He has built a franchise that has given many players, including myself, jobs and opportunities outside the game. He has built a franchise that many fans have been enjoyed and loved. And a franchise that has given me, my first championship. I am honored to be a part of such great franchise. The many players that has passed through, the likes of Hansworth, Richard Chinapoo, Dominic Mobilio, Tariq Walker, Chris Vaccaro, Dennis Cabral, and the legend, Stan Stamankovic. Many, many other players. Mike Stankovic, Danny Kelly. Many players has passed through, so this is an honor. But when I first came here, I had to make sure, I wanted to make sure when I wore the jersey, I wore it with great pride and give you, the fans, a reason to come back. I wanted to make sure when I put that jersey on, I carried the integrity that the players left before me. When I put that jersey on, I wanted to make sure that I embrace the soccer community and live by everything that the Baltimore Blast has stood by. I wanted to make sure that when I leave this beautiful game as a player, I was leaving as a veteran of the game. A veteran of the game that's going to leave something behind, something that I have embraced and been taught myself by the players before me. I was not going to leave this game as a player that just got old. I want to say thank you once again to my fans, players, the staff, my family, my friends, and the coaches, and especially to Danny Kelly and Ed Hale for their support and giving me the chance to continue this beautiful journey. And remember, before I leave, remember, for you to enjoy success to its fullest, you must endure a little bit of pain. Thank you very much.
Let's get a picture. Here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Bascombe. Blast fans, our next inductee was the trainer for Baltimore Indoor Soccer from 1989 through the year 2000. Many Baltimore legends stayed healthy because of this guy, and he was also an all-star, being named trainer for the Eastern Conference in the 1989, 1990, and 1991 seasons. After his career finished with the Blast, he became the head athletic trainer at Archbishop Curley, and he's been a role model for many Curley men and even taught the sons of our Blast GM. Let's take a look now at the career of Marty McGinty.
And Mr. McGinty, I just want to say congratulations and induction to the Hall of Fame, and I love you, man. I mean, my 4 years here, coming to your office, messing with you, man, it's been great. I'm going to miss you when I'm gone. Utmost respect for you. I'm going to miss you getting up here, walking around here slow, and yeah, just congrats, and I'm proud of you.
Martin McGinty, just want to wish you a congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. You're a big reason for a lot of our kids' success, and it's well-deserved. Congrats
Congratulations on your induction into the Blast Hall of Fame. What an honor. It's been a real pleasure to be a part of both of your careers, not only with the Blast, but also here at Archbishop Curley High School. To think 25 years ago, we were both going to work every day wearing sweatpants. You still are today. Unfortunately, I've missed out somehow. Must have did something wrong. Congrats, brother. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome our newest member of the Blast Hall of Fame, Marty McGinty.
All right. It's pretty funny. My school announced, made a big announcement in the auditorium during assembly. I think it was a mass, that I was going to go into the Hall of Fame, and I was leaving the auditorium, and a couple freshmen who don't really know who I am came up and said, wow, you must have been a really good defender when you played for the Blast back then 35 years ago. I was appreciative of that because I thought it was pretty cool. I do want to congratulate Dave Bascombe. I mean, honestly, I watched it kill us a lot in Harrisburg, running up and down that farm show field with incredible speed and work ethic. And you obviously have done great things with Danny Kelly, and I'm glad that you're in the Hall of Fame. And the other counterpart, Lee Tashantre, who, when he was on your team, you loved him. When he wasn't on your team, you hated him because his will to win was crazy and second to none. Wears his heart on his sleeve, and I loved him for that. Never would miss a playoff game. His ankle was bigger than his thigh, and he said, you could cut my leg off, but I'm playing in that game tonight. I don't care what you say. And those are the kind of people that win you championships, and those guys are two big-time winners. So I'm very grateful that I'm going into the Hall of Fame with them tonight. Just want to mention a few of my guys that are here tonight, and they're my guys, and they'll always be my guys, but we had great relationships, families. I can't tell you some of the stories that we experienced because it would be probably illegal. But anyway, I want to start with Chris Vaccaro. I was grateful, actually, great goalie, that he retired when he did because I used to have to carry 2 medical kits, one of them with all my supplies and the rest of it with all his hair gels that he used to use before every game. I used to have to put a Gatorade bottle full of hair gel, and he used it during timeout so that it would keep that long, big mullet that he had back there, you know, nice and shiny. Dennison came to us actually through the circus. I don't know if you guys know that, but one time the circus was down at the arena, and this little Brazilian was doing all this acrobatic stuff, practicing for the night, and Ed and I are standing there watching him, and Ed looks over to me and says, man, if that kid could learn how to play soccer, he'd be really good for this league. And I was like, all right, well, let's ask him. And you know the rest of the story because he was an unbelievable player for us. Tariq, the stealth bomber, that was his nickname, is big on the field. When his back was towards the goal, I couldn't even see half the players. I always thought we were on a power play when he was out there. Another one, Jason Dieter. I don't really know much about his soccer skills. I don't think he really knew much about them either. But I do truly believe, that Jason wishes that he played in the major leagues because all he could do was slide tackle, and it always looked like he was sliding into second base trying to break up a double play. Thank God we never passed him the ball. I got to thank Ronnie Simmons. He's here tonight. I want to thank him for keeping me in shape back then. I had to run out on the field at least 35 times a game for his injuries.
Joe Barger, my man. Fear nothing, always positive. Team guy, coach's dream. And thank God for your wife, Kristen. Oh, my goodness. Steve Boardman, one of my men. We signed Steve. We merged into the MPSL with the other league, and we go to Milwaukee for our first game, and we had a loaded team. And we knew we were going to just run through everybody. We go to a packed house in Milwaukee. We're down 17-2 in the fourth quarter. Now, mind you, there was 2- and 3-point scoring back then. And he comes off the field, and they had Victor Nogueira, one of the greatest goalies of all time, indoors. And it's 17-2 to start the fourth quarter. And Bordy keeps coming off the field, and he's like, fellas, we can win this game. I played in this league. We can win this game. We can play. I'm telling you, we can win this game. We just got to get one goal, some three-pointers. I look at Neely and Joe Cozio, and I'm thinking, we just signed the dumbest guy ever in the history of soccer. And sure enough, sooner or later, we start chipping away, and we tie the game right at the end, and Joe Cozio scores a game winner for us, and we win it overtime. And I'm thinking, man, I know nothing about soccer, and this guy, he was awesome. What a great game. Giuliano Salenzo, one of my curly guys. Thank God you were so good at shooting with those one-touch shots. Because heaven forbid, if you actually had a run to get a ball and shoot, you would have never scored anything. Joe Cozio. The fans in the 300 section or upper section up at the arena downtown, they would have been here tonight, but I think they're still in concussion protocol from all those missed shots you had behind the goal. I try to explain to you, keep your knee over the ball when you shoot. Mark Metrick. Close friend. You could have been a really good soccer player if you ever figured out how to use your right leg. Lance Johnson. I'm keeping Danny Kelly in the locker room because I was worried that you might still be mad at him when he punched you in the eye during that Harrisburg Blast game long time ago. I know you're out here, Timmy Whitman. I know you're here. Once he's your friend, he's always your friend for life, but I'm not sure that's a great idea. Myself, Doug, Neely, and Bordy lived in one of his houses in Federal Hill for a long time when we played. And Timmy, the big practical joker, used to put signs, I mean literally stop signs, in front of our house, trees, full trees he would get from somewhere, and we would wake up in the morning, go to practice, and they'd be blocking the door. And we couldn't get out, and we would be late for practice. He would be hiding in our closets when we came home and jump out and scare us half to death. When people in Baltimore say that guy's crazy, they're not lying. He's crazy. Derek Marcano, I still think I'm faster than you. Troy Snyder, another great one. I convinced Ed, I got to be honest, I convinced Ed to sign you because I thought you were part of the big Snyder pretzel family and we'd have all kinds of snacks during the practice times. Roberto Asenzi. I'm surprised you paid attention to the instructions for tonight and you're not downtown at the arena trying to knock on the door to get in. Doug Neely, my man. When I found out that we signed him from Kansas City, I was like, that guy, he's terrible. He had long hair, wore a ninja headband, and blue shoes. He cannot play for us. Years later, the guy becomes a perennial all-star, my best friend, and we named my son after him. Ed Hale. I'm almost done, Ed. I got to read this because it truly is from my heart. I appreciate your work ethic more than you'll ever know. It takes a special person to continue to make the commitment to Baltimore for something you believe in, keeping the Blast fans and families happy. You give them a great team every year. Nobody, Ed, nobody does it better than you. Look at how many of your great players came back for you, and I know I speak for the fans as well. Thank you, Ed. So, thank Dr. Rich Levine, who's a longtime sports medicine orthopedic surgeon, a special guy in my life. Was with me for his fellowship year, and he's still here today. Talk about a guy that loves this sport and his team and could be so many other places, a blast doctor, team physician for Towson University, but he gives up a lot of his time, and there's nobody giving better care than that guy does. And I want to thank you for taking care of those guys, Rich, for so long. Heather Colbus, I know those players love you. You're the athletic trainer, current athletic trainer now, and I appreciate what you do and take care of them. I want to thank Kenny Cooper, Kevin Healy, and Billy Ronson. I know you're up there, Billy, with a shortwave radio somewhere on a cloud, basically, or I hope you're on a cloud, trying to get soccer scores somewhere in Europe. Pat Lamboni, the Salisbury University head athletic trainer that taught me everything I know. I wouldn't be here today without you, my man, and you know it, and I know it as well. I just got to thank you. Last, my mom and dad. My dad's in heaven. I know he's smiling because he loved the Blast guys. They were always so great and made him laugh all the time when they came home to visit, when they were out of town and holidays and those kind of things. My mom, she's a saint. She helped raise 6 kids. They weren't perfect. Well, 5 of them weren't. I wouldn't say that about myself. Last but not least, my wonderful family. Neely Christopher McGinty, we named him after Doug, and the reason why, people ask, hard worker, please and thank you guy, glass always half full, signed autograph for kids, never said no, holds doors for people. You're gonna do great things in life, my man, and I'm proud of you. Finley, my wonderful daughter, I'm worried a little bit about her. She'll hug you and punch you in the face at the same time. Finally, this is it. My wife, Ann, who I know I wouldn't be standing here today if you didn't take over once I decided to cash in on family life. You're the best, and I'm extremely lucky. Thank you to everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this award. It's special for not being a player, and I appreciate everything you guys do. Go Blast!
Ladies and gentlemen, Marty McGinty, the newest member of the Blast Hall of Fame. Now, unfortunately, we're out of time, so I guess Lee's going to have to wait till next year. You okay with that, Lee? No, I'm only kidding. Our final inductee played for the Blast from the year 2000 to 2007. In 235 games, he scored 123 goals, 125 assists, and was a member of 3 Blast championships. Lee also holds the distinction for the most penalty minutes all time in the former MISL. After his playing career ended, Lee became the head soccer coach at Loyola Blakefield, where he has won 2 MIAA 8 conference championships. In 2016, he was an assistant to the under-18 national team, and he is also a member of the Blast broadcast team right now. Let's take some video highlights and look at some video highlights of your newest Hall of Fame member, Lee Tashantret. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our 3rd member of the Blast Hall of Fame this evening, Lee Tashantret.
All right. Hi, everyone. How you doing? You guys all right? I promise I will not talk as long as Marty did. He thought this was a roast, so he just had to go through every single person we had here. So, God, I miss being in front of you all. It was an interesting, wonderful ride being a professional soccer player. It was 20 years, I got to be a little kid. So, Ed, I want to thank you. I want to thank you first for bringing me here to Baltimore. I know that was a really tough decision for you because I played for Harrisburg. We were big rivals. I was borderline insane. I was a crazy man. So I understand that you invested a lot and took a chance bringing me here. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm honored to be a part of this class. David Bascom is one of my best friends. So going in with Dave is, really kind of something I hold close to my heart. Marty McGinty was awesome as a trainer, just a great human being. So when I thought about this, when I thought about being inducted into the Hall of Fame, one thing just kept coming to mind for me, for my career. And that was, I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful that I got to be a part of so many people's lives. Guys behind me, I'm thankful you all accepted me for who I was. I was borderline a little bit crazy, right? But you always had my back. We enjoyed each other. We enjoyed each other's personalities. Those bonds and friendships that we forged day in and day out in practice and during the games is something that I hold dear to my heart. I have to say a really big thank you to my family, all my brothers and sisters, my mother who has passed a long time ago. But any parent knows lugging your child around when they're younger to play soccer is very difficult. And, the sacrifice of a soccer player is not just the soccer player, but it's everyone who's involved with his family. DK, my man, we lived together for years. It was a great ride both on the field and off the field. Being part of 3 championships with you is fantastic, and David, and I can go down the line with all the guys. So at the end of the day, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to have had soccer as a really big part of my life. I'm grateful to all the relationships that I made, all the guys behind me. I have to say thank you to my wife. We've been together for well over 30 years now, and thank you for being so wonderful and allowing me to play soccer and follow it basically until my legs gave out. Massimo, my son, Cello, my daughter Matea, thank you guys. You mean the world to me. And guys, thanks again. It was great to be here.
Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our halftime ceremony, our Hall of Fame ceremony. Let's give it up for the 3 newest members of your Baltimore Blast Hall of Fame: David Bascom, Lee Teshantret, and Marty McGinty. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's unfurl the new Hall of Fame banner. There they are, the 3 newest members of your Baltimore Blast Hall of Fame: Marty McGinty, David Bascom, and Lee Teshantret.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep their workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our passion and our specialty for more than 100 years. We help protect Maryland workers because connect with your local agent or visit us online.
The story is changing. The words ever evolving. Bolder, braver. We are architects of opportunity, and what we're building is more than buildings. It's pride. College is capable of being more, and every day we're proving it.
Our country has changed over the last 80 years. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're not just embracing this change, we're driving it in our own backyard. As a local not-for-profit, we're tackling some of the region's biggest health challenges and making care more accessible for you by providing access to digital tools, transforming healthcare for over 3 million of your neighbors, forging new paths to live fearless. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield.
The best of our minds, the best of our hearts. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Our country has changed over the last 80 years. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're not just embracing this change, we're driving it in our own backyard. As a local not-for-profit, we're tackling some of the region's biggest health challenges and making care more accessible for you by providing access to digital tools, transforming healthcare for over 3 million of your neighbors, forging new paths to live fearless. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield.
And welcome back to Baltimore here for third quarter action after our halftime ceremonies with David Bascom, Marty McGinty, and Lee Chanterette inducted into the Blast Hall of Fame. We'll talk more about that here in the second half as we're underway. The Rochester Lancers will start with it. Again, trailing to the Blast 7-3. Blast with 7 goals in that first half. Looking to continue their playoff run as they continue to chase Harrisburg here in the Eastern Conference for the 4th playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Steal by Diesel into the hands of Wilkin for Rochester. Pretty good ceremony, Andrew, in that halftime.
Yeah, I was going to say, Paul, how are your feelings about Marty McGinty? The only person that he didn't mention from that era was you, I think.
That's correct. That is correct.
Comedy Central roast by Marty McGinty.
Could be one of the longest halftime Hall of Fame speeches I've ever heard.
I tell you what, though, if you're going to do it funny, and he did.
We'll have to ask Lee when he comes back up. His ball is driven into the crowd. Going to kick in for the Blast. I have to ask Lee if he had any pressure on him because the other speeches, he's kind of out of time.
I can actually tell you definitively from the sideline that several Blast players threatened death to him if he went more than 3 minutes.
Keep it short, Lee. Keep it short. All
there
right.
was clocks being held up and threatening glances being cast.
All right. Blast will have a kick in here on the far side. 2-man wall for Rochester.
Man, I tell you what, David Bascom, he may not have had the headset, but he had the preacher's cant going, man. He was inspirational as all get out.
Yes, he is. He's a very, very good speaker, no question about it. But Lee Chanterette joins us. Lee, we were just talking about it. Did you feel pressure that, all your time was out by the time you got to you?
I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, because I could see the Blast players and, and Rochester. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of, as I do with most of my speeches, I kind of improvise a little bit.
Well, how about Marty? I think I said that might be the longest Hall of Fame speech I've ever heard.
It was pretty long, but Marty was funny, and he always is. He's a great guy, so.
Pereira's drive is parried down by Wilkin, and the Blast with the first good scoring chance of the third quarter.
I tell you what, out of all the digs, though, the Giuliano one about how good he was with his first touch, and thank God. That had me rolling.
It's probably not too far off. No, Jules could score, man. Jules was fantastic. Great guy to play with.
Chester has it in the corner. Rayleigh with some good defense down there. And I love, Lee, when you talk about just, one of the best parts about being an athlete is just the camaraderie, the teammates, and just being with the guys. And I think that's one of the things that's so hard to give up for athletes.
Yeah, listen, for me, like I said, when I was thinking about this speech, the resonating thought that kept popping in my head, I was just grateful. I was grateful to be around the guys, man, on every team and the relationships that we forged. And it's something most people don't get to be a part of.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Jason Dieter's in the house.
Blue card here on Rochester as Mello goes down, and we're going to get our first power play of the night. Looked like the penalty was away from the ball, Andrew?
Yeah, it was Mello spilled into the bench, but I haven't seen who's going to go. I guess it's Wright is going to go into the box. Number 3, Wright goes in. So he took Mello into the boards as Mello was trying to take the shift off, come on a change. And the Blast will pick up the advantage.
Blast power play 64% on the season. Rochester penalty kill just 22%. Dantas with a drive and a score. That didn't take long.
All right, I don't feel too bad now because we didn't make we didn't throw them off rhythm.
Power play goal for Vinny Dantas. Time to goal 2:25. For Vinny, his 36th goal of the season, his 7th power play goal of the year. And the Blast lead at 8-3.
3 passes in 3 seconds there for the Blast on that power play, and it's about as efficient as you're going to get.
I'm always amazed at how clean Vinny strikes the ball.
He's deadly from that bad angle too. The ability to put it up in the upper 90.
Yeah, he's just got such a clean strike of the ball. There's no big windup. It's tough for the goalkeeper to get a gauge of.
On the angles you talk about, I mean, how many goals this year has that been the side netting? I mean, He just doesn't hit the back of the net. It's the side netting with precision.
Here's Cunningham looking to answer for Rochester. And Dos Santos called for the foul. Going to restart here for Rochester.
Number 12, Dos Santos. Free kick, Rochester.
I know the Blast would love to put this game to bed quickly here in the second half.
Absolutely, maybe get some guys some minutes, get some guys a little bit of rest, not put the thought in Rochester's head that they have a chance to win.
Oh, giveaway here. Nice recovery though. Blast are putting all kind of pressure on.
I knew this was going to happen, Paul. It's going to become...
Well, no, tell you what. Well, with the David Bascom's son Elijah stopped by to say hi, his son Tay. So, they're all starting to roll through here in the second half.
You're just going to have to remember it's not a visual medium. Tell us all who's there.
We're okay with the drive. Yeah, just ignore the chatter in the background, right, Lee?
Yeah. It's all in your head.
All of your friends will be stopping by to visit. Let's get some of them on.
It is quite a list of alumni in attendance here tonight.
It was just great to see everybody for the alumni game, and it's just warms my heart. I don't get to see them enough, and I can't talk about it enough, but I miss the guys. I miss Chinapoo and poor Jim Pollahan. Can you imagine being Jim Pollahan and having your first team be myself, Franklin, Danny when he was young? I mean, literally, you have 4 or 5 guys who are borderline clinically insane.
Timmy Whitman was on that team?
Yeah, borderline, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that word, Lee.
I joke with Ed all the time, and I had mentioned it there, that it really actually took it took courage for an owner to sign me as a player, because I was hated here.
The best word to describe you, Lee, would be volatile. But come on, and Marty said it. We've all talked about this before, and Marty hit it right on the head. That's why you're such a great player. When Lee Chantarette is on your team, you love him. And when you have to play against him, you hate him, because he will not give an inch. There's another blue card. We're going to get another power play here for the Blast. But you would never give an inch. You would always crush somebody on the boards. And you always were all in, regardless of what the situation was in the game.
It's interesting. It's something that I try to instill in my players now as a coach, that
our practice games sometimes were more intense than our actual games. The way we pushed each other, and nobody's trying to hurt each other, but the way we tackled and the way we worked, it made you such a better professional.
Yeah, there you go. Lonco goes for Rochester. Blast back on the power play.
Tried to sneak into the bench instead of going into the penalty box. I don't know if he forgot or he was trying to get away with one there.
To number 31, Jeremy Michael. 2 minutes for tripping.
Victor France. Now Mello has it, top of the box. Here's Roque.
It's already stretched longer than the last power play. So.
Roque, have volley, goes through the crease. Back to the other side for Donatelli.
Rochester stretched right now.
Good ball here, Roque. They touch to the middle, it's deflected. Now Donatelli far side. Tony, shot, goal. Oh, he picked the corner. Donatelli with the goal, the second power play goal in the first 5 minutes here in the third quarter, and it's 9-3 Blast.
Fantastic composure, brought it from his strong foot, which is his right foot, to his left foot, and just picked the corner out. Keeper has no chance.
There's the replay. Mello, again, I get this assist as well. Mello's third assist of the game. Wow.
The Rochester players are working so hard, but they were so out of shape there that one side is so wide open.
Well, you saw it coming, Lee. I mean, it just stretched too far on the power play. On the kill, you can't expand that far on the press. And they were pressing up near midfield, and it just left them wide open.
All right, so Tony Donatelli ties a career high for a season in goals with number 22. And now Jonathan Mello sets a career high in assists as he puts home his 23rd assist of the season. Drive deflected into the hands of Wilkin. Clears it to the Blast corner, the far side. Raley with a nice defensive job, drags it through. Hoxie wins the ball, plays it up ahead. Mello, here's a 2-on-none if he can hurry. Pereira's on the far side. Mello can't quite touch it the proper way. It goes around the turn instead, right to Wilkin.
Yeah, he was really trying to reward Juan with that great run, but he was too close to the boards to get that ball across.
Steal by Raley. Lancers pressure as the Blast are trying to change, and Blast do a nice job of clearing. Dantas' pass is deflected. Good steal. And now Lancers on the counter. Shot over the crossbar. Rieger wanted a foul. Chance. Donatelli puts it towards the middle. That's blocked. But Tony does a nice job recovering and winning the ball.
Yeah, I thought Tony was going to notice that the keeper was cheating.
Oh, Dos Santos with a drive off of the crossbar.
I was saying I thought Tony was going to notice the keeper was cheating for that ball off the board and try to clip him near post.
March the 4th, stop by the fan club table located behind section 115 to receive.
Lancers have it on the far side.
Tickets are on sale now. That's the annual
Turn towards the middle and they'll set up possession. Blast home tonight against the Lancers. Huge game with playoff implications next Saturday night against Harrisburg. And the Blast finished the season in Milwaukee. Steal by Dos Santos. Adriano takes his time. Plays to the corner. Donatelli can't pull the trigger, and Lancers now will come the other way. Diminutive down the wing, stolen away by Dantas. Mello can't win it. Lancers have it midway through the third.
A little hectic here over the last couple minutes, turnover after turnover. Both teams just trying to transition so quickly.
So I think we can lay it out for you. Blast need a win here tonight. If they can beat Harrisburg by more than 4 goals or score 11 next week against the Heat, they will retake the tiebreaker. And at that point, could win in Milwaukee and clinch a playoff spot. If they, however, don't win by that amount and Harrisburg retains the tiebreaker, the Blast are going to need help.
Yeah, there's so many variables between these teams right now. That's one of them. But then you have Harrisburg that's going to play Utica twice. They're going to play Milwaukee.
They also have a Dallas game in there that's dangerous. As you saw Dallas take Utica to overtime. They've played well lately. Freddie Mugine down there.
And it's such a variable too, because there's scenarios where the Blast could win the tiebreaker next week, have Harrisburg lose that Wednesday following against Utica, and then the Milwaukee game wouldn't even matter.
Which would be
nice.
Wow, which would be ideal for them, because then look at this point in the season, you have guys who have nicks, and if you can give them a little bit of a rest, that would be great.
Although you still have that whole thing we have to figure out, which is the playoff seeding, as you see this ball go out for officials timeout. We'll talk about that more.
No question. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one, too. 6:02 left in the third. Blast lead at 9-3 over the Lancers. Back with more. You're watching Blast Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
The best of our minds, the best of our hearts. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep their workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our passion and our specialty for more than 100 years. We help protect Maryland workers because connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Blast 9, Lancers 3 here in the third. Dantas and Donatelli have scored for the Blast here early in the third to stake them to a 9-3 lead over Rochester. The Blast looking to sweep the season series against the Lancers here tonight and go a long way towards heading towards the playoffs.
Look at over our left shoulder. Derek Marcano's making his way.
Look, he's challenging Lee.
He's an awesome guy.
The Rock.
Thank God his wife Peaches helped us out so much during when we had Mossy and Aaron and I were in the gulag with no sleep. Oh boy. She used to take Mossy for hours to just, give poor Aaron a break. Oh.
3-line violation here.
It's the first 3-line pass I've ever seen that never got more than 6 inches off the ground.
And it happens all the time here. Restart for Rochester at the yellow.
They have 6 men on the field. They have 6 men on the field.
They have 7 men on the field. Cleared.
How did they not see that one?
Hoxie by himself shoots and scores. Well, Hoxie makes it irrelevant. 10-3 Blast. Time to go 9-12. Hoxie, I believe, from Pereira. Take a look at it. Jawan just fights through. Gets it to Andrew with the left foot. Andrew Hoxie, 7th goal of the season.
Juan does a great job there. I know it looked like it was a bit of luck, but actually Juan did a really good job to get that ball. He actually megged the defender there to get that ball through.
Jawan's 11th assist of the season. Blast hit double digits, and they're dominating right now, 10-3. Dangerous pass there. Now Rayleigh with the steal. Pereira has it. Plays for Mello, far side. Shot saved by Wilkin. Big time save by Wilkin there.
I tell you what, it feels weird to say in a 10-goal game in the third quarter, but how good has Wilkin been today?
Oh, Dantas off the post. Looking for the hat trick.
That has to be the 5th or 6th post that we've hit this game so far.
Demidov hit the far boards.
No, he just tattooed his player in the back and it bounced out.
I've been impressed with Demidov tonight. He's played well.
Yes.
Quick start.
Tony Donatelli unmarked.
Yeah, quick start. It was going to be a 3-on-none for the Blast, and then restart again. And
he still is unmarked.
And there's 7 players on the field for Rochester.
Victor Francis just got a block on Lucas Roquet's shot. It's going crazy right now.
Now the Lancers in a bit of disarray right now.
Blast.
They do have 5 on the field now. It's going a little crazy here in Baltimore. Roquet can't settle. It goes around the turn right into the hands of Wilkin.
Victor France with a great save on Roquet's shot.
Good ball up ahead by Donatelli. Now, whoa, dangerous. It should be a procedure there. You can't play with your hand.
I don't think he touched it with his hand. I think he actually bent down and got it with his knee.
France is denied from behind.
Well, if you saw that, Lee, good job, because, I mean, to me, that looks pretty clear there was his hands. That'll be 3-line from William.
And Victor France coming off favoring his leg. He definitely got kicked from behind there. One of those dangerous plays, top of the box, so you don't know the guy's behind you.
William with a little Rabona kick there. 3 lines.
Ortiz puts it into the mesh.
Would have been a pretty sweet little play from William if it hadn't been 3 lines.
I actually played with Jeremy his rookie year in Philadelphia, Ortiz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pass for Hoxie, stolen away. Drive, Vanzella the save. Quick distribution, Hoxie's ahead of the field, good header. Good recovery that time by Harling. Hoxie's doing some good battling. Keeps it alive. Mellow drive off the glass. Oh my.
I think Melo's eyes were the size of saucer plates. He saw that one and he was salivating.
Ball came right to him. Here we go again. Blast behind the Rochester defense. Hoxie gets tripped up from behind. Foul called.
That is just never as easy as it looks, by the way. When that ball is dropping to you and you're like, oh my God, it's just never as easy as it looks.
Alex Hartley, free kick blast. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Blast Fan Club's autographed soccer ball winning number.
We start for the Blast here.
Winning number 917.
To the corner. Dantas in front, shot and a goal. It's in. Raley scores for the Blast from Dantas. It's 11-3.
Well, that play started when Vinny Dantas came on late for Andrew Hoxie. Vinny stayed up on the boards and waited on the restart until he could kind of sneak in on the corner. You see him perched up on the boards, and then he falls in. Nobody went with him. He's wide open.
I'm not sure this went over the line.
Let's take a look. Let's see if we get, I don't know what kind of angle we'll get from this view. I don't know.
The official that was there put his hands up immediately, and he was adamant that he saw it, but very hard to see from that angle.
It had to be before it hit the post, because after it hit the post, it definitely did not cross the line.
Slow motion replay.
I think it does, Lee. I think it spun and it hit behind the bar and came back out because of the spin that was on the ball.
Yeah, so
there's a small bar on the bottom, Lee, that could have caused it to kick out there. It wasn't the post, it was that small bar on the bottom.
Yeah, it's difficult to see.
I'll tell you this too, the tough part about this arena is the goals are so, like, there's no depth to them at all.
Yes.
And so it's very difficult sometimes to tell. France a drive, he can't go with the left foot.
Victor was putting everything he had into that one. He threw himself off balance.
Lee, we had one here the first season we played in this arena where the ball went clearly into the back of the net and just wasn't called. I mean, it wasn't even close. It clearly went back off the net, bounced back out. Completely missed, so.
Foul on the Blast.
This is smart by Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny peeked over his shoulder. He knew they weren't set, so he kind of stepped up and
snuck up and then backed up.
Of course. Well,
smart.
You make the official count.
Good defensive play by Diesel. He flicks it down the turn. Ortiz runs that down. Back to midfield. Diesel's pass intercepted. Good step in by Raley. Diesel clears. Dantas, crossfield pass. Donatelli can't beat Demidov. Drive kicked out by Vanzella. Ortiz volleys it back in. Raley wins the 50-50 ball. Donatelli flicks it forward. Good header by Tony. Raley chips it. Donatelli has his pass deflected.
It's like a foot volley game right now. The ball, nobody wants to get on the ground.
Look at Victor France battling.
This is a weird game.
It is just not a very clean game, although they've put 11 in the goal. It's been spurts.
Dantas with a battle. Double team. Vinny, what are we going to do here? We're going to drop the ball. Nobody wanted to get hurt down. Vinny's just like throwing his weight around down there.
God, I gave, Vinny's gracious as always, came up and said congrats and gave me a hug. Man,
he's huge, isn't he?
He's a thick guy. He's like, it was like hugging Tariq. I was like, oh my God, these guys are so big.
Man, I'll tell you what, similar to Tariq, not only can they finish, man, can they carry the mail through the midfield into the offensive end? Oh.
So for all those years, I was really just bored. I was delusional. I'm about their size. I always felt like I was there. I never felt like I was really short or small.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was in my own mind, I guess.
Although, if you're like me, Lee, I've been shrinking as I've gotten older, so.
Oh, it runs in my family. I got no chance to be taller than 5'6" in about 3 years.
There's a 3-line. I'm pretty sure when I was growing up, I was like 6'1" or 6'2", and somehow I've shrank to 6 foot now. I don't understand it.
So you gotta love when they're showing the pictures, up on the board when they were announcing me. My kids are like, "Oh, Dad, your legs were huge. What happened?"
What happened? Shot deflected.
So it's always nice when they notice you've shrunk.
corner here for the Blast.
Soccer corner.
Mello, Roque, that's blocked.
Lee, the good news is your hair still looks great.
Absolutely.
Got the same sideburns.
Except now they're all white.
Mayanga with some good footwork. Wilkin, Finn on the near side. His pass blocked. Into the Blast bench. Kick in for Rochester. Last minute of the play, third quarter. Mayanga, top. Ball goes through. Cleared away by the Blast. De Silva that's NDI, excuse me. NDI through. Wilkin fields. 30 seconds left in the quarter.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Mike De Silva step onto the field yet for the Blast. Andrew Hoxie's played that third point forward position.
20 seconds left. Rochester for one more effort. Taken away. Roque thought about chipping the keeper. Mello. Run off there by Harling. 5 seconds left. 2 seconds, 1 second, that'll do it. Blast score all 4 goals in the third. They lead at 11-3 over Rochester. Back with more soccer fourth quarter action on the way. Blast 11, Lancers 3. You're watching Blast Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Shots on.
And welcome back to Baltimore. Blast lead 11-3 over Rochester. Blast out shooting the Lancers 26-18. 10 saves for Brian Wilkin for the Lancers, and 9 saves for William Vanzella in the Blast. Blast have 11 fouls. Rochester has 8. I guess the tough thing here, too, in this arena league, when you're down 11-3, you got to stand in front of all these shots in the fourth quarter and kind of suck it up, right?
Yeah, so I'm interested. I think, Danny's probably going to tell his guys, listen, don't take any unnecessary knocks. Move the ball. Don't hold on to it where you get a chance to get hit. And Rochester's going to come out and do what they've been doing for the first 3 quarters. I give them a lot of credit. They've been working hard. There's been no quit. So I hope that the Blast has a little bit more patience here, kind of stretches it out so they don't take any unnecessary hits.
Huge line behind us here at the arena for the pint glass. Big night tonight for the Blast and Hall of Fame night.
We haven't even talked about the throwback uniforms the Blast are wearing tonight.
Here's Mike Da Silva. Hits one around the turn, goes wide.
I don't know. My vote is we bring these back full time.
I like these uniforms.
No. I thought we determined.
Haven't we talked about this, Andrew? It's not a 3-line violation, right? Or it is? I guess it is.
It's on Rochester 3-line. It's not on the Blast. Okay.
All right.
Can it be a 3-line deflection?
No, that's what we found out.
It can't be. But they're saying Rochester did.
Oh, I thought a Blast player.
I did too.
So that's why we were saying it. But no, and it had been called incorrectly here. But
the Blast have the possession. Donatelli. It's back for Vanzella. NDI touches to Dantas. Vinny turns. Nice cut there. Goes around the defender. Goes into the box, and finally it's knocked away. NDI's drive is blocked.
Nice bit of skill along the board by Vinny.
And Vinny went for a stroll there down the wing and stepped through 2 defenders.
I mean, you mentioned it, Lee. Who wants to get in front of him when he's got a full head of steam? I don't.
Listen, a lot of these guys, you can tell they're really inexperienced with the indoor game, and that in particular. So, you think you have them, but these guys are so good with the sole of their foot that you should know that's coming, but they don't because they just haven't seen it enough.
Okay, misses Dos Santos. Counter now for Rochester. Last double team, they take it away. Roque with a nice kick away there. Lanco in there mixing it up. Ball comes free, and here comes, good takeaway as Guernsey came out and Ortiz took that away. Good chance here for Rochester as Lanco has it far side, but he has to settle and bring it back.
Guernsey screaming at himself on the back line there. He had a good opportunity, but Ortiz stood his ground.
Well, I mean, look, initially he did the right thing. You want to drive at the defender in a 3v2 and kind of tighten them in and draw them in. He just waited too long to play that ball. I think that's why he's frustrated with himself.
Well, and he hasn't played very much tonight. So you step on the field and you're kind of your timing's off just a little bit. Harling in the midfield. Demidiv now. Marked by Mello.
By the way, as we get older, obviously we get a lot slower. But boy, Dennison's first step is still really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching him goof around out there today was so fun.
Really tries to touch for NDI. That's kicked away.
Well, we were talking about that pregame. Dennison's only 3 years away from playing in this league. When he was the coach at Harrisburg, he stepped in and played a couple games. And, it seems kind of crazy for as long as his career was, but still only 3 years away from being a player.
No.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time off.
Yeah, that is a lot of time off. Now,
that is.
Andrew, didn't you say that Doug Miller is going to play for Rochester?
It's what we heard. I confirmed. Didn't get that. Wasn't able to speak with him about that. So, Lee, I'm not sure if you talked to him, but we had heard from some of the players that they were told that Doug Miller was activated and maybe would play in some of the later games in the season for Rochester.
It wouldn't surprise me. Then, Dougie always keeps himself fit. He still looks like he's in very good condition, and he can give his you know, his expertise and his brain more than anything to this game. Somebody who understands the game.
And we apologize if that was not true, but we were told that by some of the players.
Good tackle by Diesel. Forces Ortiz back to the yellow. Jeremy directing traffic, and then Donatelli blocks his pass. Oh, turnover here. Hoxie steals. He's got Pereira in front. Donatelli trailing.
He missed his moment. He had Donatelli trailing, and he couldn't get the ball out from underneath his feet.
Rochester on the counter. Rarely gets pushed off, but he hangs in there. Forces Rochester back to the midfield.
Great job by Jeremy forcing that 2v1 into a 1v1. So he forced the player away from his 2v1 and really isolated it and turned it into a 1v1. He did a really good job there.
Not only that, but being physical enough to be able to ward off the push and still be able to make a defensive play.
Goalkeeper distribution, blast.
You know, you would think in that situation you get a whistle, but you're not guaranteed, so you got to keep fighting.
No, absolutely.
10 minutes to go. Blast in control, 11-3. Great ball here. NDI far side for Dos Santos. Adriano off the boards. Dantas the header. Wilkin high in the air to grab it.
De Silva takes his second shift on, comes on for Hoxie. And it's interesting, De Silva's playing alongside Dantas.
Yeah, kind of playing that second forward position. Quick flick here. Oh, De Silva turns and he couldn't get the foot on it. He's a little frustrated.
It's a great opportunity to get a goal there. Coming in, your second shift, your third shift.
I guess it would be easy to say that you want to kind of just run the game out, but you need to stay crisp because you want to stay sharp for next week in Harrisburg.
Yeah, but you can manage the game and continue to stay crisp. So what you want to do is maybe stretch them out, really knock the ball around, so you're still staying crisp and kind of killing time without taking any hits.
All right, Blast fans, when I call your name,
Zella clears. Ball goes around the turn.
Meg Truhan.
Diesel's pass knocked away.
Sanders. Brian Webster.
50-50 ball goes straight up into the midfield and won by the Lancers.
Jeff Boone.
Cunningham turns.
Amber Sanders. Jim Simpson.
Osmic back for Ortiz.
Noel Orndorff.
Offside.
I had the chance to talk with Danny Kelly before the game, and he talked about for these guys, it's not just about this game, but this is their audition for the next game, right? It's guys that are trying to make their playing time, their argument for playing time against that Harrisburg game. So, you know, when you look at this in this last couple of minutes and you talk about keeping that form, if you're a guy like Mike De Silva and you want to be in that game against Harrisburg, this is your tryout. This is your chance to show that you belong on the field.
Mello called for the foul.
For Mike Zierhofer's jersey, Weaver. Jesse Newcomb.
Rochester restarts from the yellow.
Nikki Brickwag, Kelly Getzel.
Two-man wall for the Blast.
Tripping foul, the Blast, number 23, Jonathan Mello, free kick, Rochester.
Drive it into the netting.
Goalkeeper distribution, Blast, Rob Bexer and Brett Orville.
Manzello distributes. Good ball here for Roque. Good recovery defensively there by Hontas. Oh, ball to Donatelli, and he drives it into the upper deck. Didn't even hit that hard.
It was a nice little smile and laugh between Roque and Donatelli there.
And Guernsey did the dirty work there, spilling in the boards to create that opportunity and open them up.
Tony's still shaking his head laughing.
Santos has it out of the box. And it goes into the crowd.
Goalkeeper distribution, Blast.
There was a scoring change, Paul. I'm not sure if you guys got that, but on the Vinny Dantas power play goal, they did add an assist from Tony Donatelli. Updated that a couple minutes ago.
So Donatelli chips in his 21st assist of the year. Rochester controls. Mayanga. Good read by Vanzella, and this will Roque up the boards. Lucas turns. Adriano wide open. Here comes a shot and a save. Guernsey that time. Deflected into the crowd by Wilkin, and we'll take a timeout on the floor. 7:22 left in the fourth. Blast lead it 11-3 over the Lancers. Back with more on NBC Sports Washington.
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win. Win.
What are we waiting for? No one comes into our house and pushes us around.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Campbell. What kind of power you got?
Oh, man, you know I got some soul power.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. This could be the greatest night of our lives.
We shut them down because we can. They don't know your heart.
On this team, we fight for that inch.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's go!
Blast lead 11-3, 7:22 left. Mello plays it back for Pereira. His touch for Diesel intercepted. And here comes Harling for Rochester. Stolen away. Guernsey 2-on-none. Guernsey. Oh, just a little bit of a bad touch, and Wilkin gathers it in.
That's a third one for Guernsey. He's going to be sleepless tonight. He's done well to create the chances, but just hasn't finished them.
Right back into the battle here, and Harling runs Guernsey off. Wilkin turns it over. Mello to the far side. Juwan. Mello. Chip. Goal! Jonathan Mello. 13-3 Blast.
Jonathan does that really well. So that's kind of from his futsal background, where he's in the box tight. He winds up like he's going to hit it, so the keeper comes out and makes himself big, and he kind of just has that nice little scoop.
Well, I got ahead of myself. It's 12-3 Blast. I was like, I thought I missed a goal here, but no, I didn't. Mello puts it home. Jonathan scores goal number 14 of the season.
Last goal scored by number 23, Jonathan.
Time to go 8-14.
Assist to number 22, Juwan Pereira. Time on the last 12th goal, 8-14. Last goal scored by number 23, Jonathan.
Blast right back on the pressure.
22, Juwan Pereira.
Ortiz for Cunningham.
8-14.
For the Blast now, not if, but by how much?
Yeah, at this point, you know, I've said it before, you just want to manage the game, not get silly injuries, take silly hits.
Not pick up silly cards either.
Yeah.
Points accumulations coming into play late in the season.
Foul here on Finn. Although I think the Blast are okay on that. Kind of looking, and don't have too many issues with that. They've done
Richard Smerman has been sitting 1 point away since he was acquired by the Blast.
I know, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, the rest of the core players.
Yeah. I think Richard was leading the world in like penalty minutes and cards and everything else before he came here to Baltimore. It's ironic that Lee chuckles at that.
Yeah.
I feel his pain.
Now, Lee, do they like create, you know, like sometimes with the scoring, like the highest batting average gets the, you know, the Pete Rose Award or something, you know? Is there a Lee Chantred highest penalty minutes?
You would think. I worked hard for that. I paid the league a lot of money.
I have to bring that in. Paul, see if we can talk to somebody on that. Have a little trophy.
Good steal. Nice job by Godoy over there. He runs into the double team and then dribbles out of it. Nice job. Rochester with some possession time. Keep our
It's like
eyes.
a golden blue card, Lee.
I got to get something out of that.
Yeah.
I think at one point, I think I was the only player to have like 1,000 points, and then I don't even know how many penalty minutes it was, like 400 or something like that.
The crazy part was how far ahead of second place you were, as Adriano takes a good shot.
Yeah.
But you were far ahead. Like, it wasn't like close back and forth. It was a substantial chunk between you and second place.
Well, I beat Tim Tima, who had played forever, played for Cleveland. Tim's a great guy, ended up officiating for years afterwards. I caught and surpassed Tim pretty quickly. Not that I'm proud of it, it just happened. Like, it was just one of those things that's kind of whatever, it's my personality, it's who I was.
A couple things for Lee that I looked up when I was getting ready for tonight's game. 50 goals the season before you got here to Baltimore. That was pretty cool to score 50 goals in the season, right?
Yeah.
And then the first year you're here, 5 game-winning goals. So not only scoring, putting it in the back of the net, but clutch, putting it in the back of the net as well.
You know, I think I just knew my role. You know, I knew I was never going to be the leading scorer. You know, I think I scored like 120 points one year in Detroit, and I think Sean Bowers was the leading scorer. I knew I was a good two-way player, and I really enjoyed being a good two-way player.
And the thing that some of the younger players don't understand, you know, guys like you and David Bascom, man, when you get the ball in the offensive end, run to the box. Because when the ball comes off the boards, if you're in the box, you have a real good chance of putting it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I felt bad for teams sometimes because it was either me and Dave or me and PJ, sometimes me, Dave, and PJ. And you got 3 guys who just love to get up and down the field.
Counter-attack by Rochester with 3:10 to play.
So probably wouldn't have enjoyed the basketball court very much, Lee?
What's that?
Probably wouldn't have enjoyed playing on the basketball court too much?
I loved basketball. I played probably more basketball as a kid than I did soccer because I grew up in the inner city, and that's what you did.
No, I meant playing on this basketball court here.
Oh, no. Look, I'll play anywhere. I don't care. But
Oh, Andrew Hoxie with the save.
I can't even describe what just happened.
I can. So Andrew shot it, and then he got the block.
I think he does get a block, a shot, and another block.
Very seldom do you see a shot and a block by the same person.
Now, I don't think that ball was going in. It was close. But I think Andrew just did it in a 0.4 second span. Andrew did everything that you could do to not score.
Can we see that again?
That was pretty funny.
Struck has that, but just kind of fell on it after he shot it.
Wow. The Blast have it. 2:10 left. Blast are going to move to 14-8 on the season. Blast are going to sit back and wait for the Heat here on Saturday night. Steal by Hoxie. Diesel, Hoxie goes down. Donatelli, oh, just a bit too far. Hoxie gets back up again. You always tell the goal scorers, they fall down, they look around, and they realize there's a scoring chance out there. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Wow.
Okay, that was a shot, a block, and a handball.
Well, was the handball inside the goal? I mean, that was unbelievable.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Look at Vinny Dantas here. He's not quitting.
Oh, off the post. Vinny tried to chip him.
What a different class right there. That was that. Oh,
another post.
Okay, I think we have to acknowledge Rochester here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Seriously, you
Still
do.
Playing.
Look at, and I've been in that position. You know, I've been on a team that just took a beating the entire year. They are not giving up. They're working hard.
Shot saved by Wilkin. How about that?
He's had a great game. I mean, he's given up 12. He's given up 12 goals, but he's made a number of fantastic saves.
It could easily be 18 or 19 tonight, right?
Oh, easily.
Well, Guernsey could have 4 goals. And Sam Guernsey, the bad luck there. Unbelievable.
So 1:04 left. Blast will have a corner here. Oh, Dantas drives it into the mesh.
Try to hit the cover off that ball.
Take a look at the score sheet. Vinny Dantas with a couple goals, a couple assists. Juan Pereira's been involved. 2 goals for Pereira and an assist. Of course, Jonathan Mello's playing really well. 3 assists tonight and the goal. A lot to choose from for player of the game.
I was going to ask, what are you guys thinking here? I think Mello.
I'll tell you what, Mello got him going in that first quarter. Never looked back from there.
You said that was a career high in assists now, right? For Mello?
Correct, yep.
I think you got to go with the conductor.
Yes, sir. Blast trying to run it out here, 40 seconds left. Solid effort from William Van Zelleth here tonight. Blast had 3 missions to end the season. Win here tonight against Rochester, they've done that. The next one is next Saturday against Harrisburg, and then the final one in Milwaukee on March 15th. Oh. India. Far side, Mello. Shot blocked. 15 to play. Oh, India turns and puts it into the mesh. Wilkins had enough. He's not even going to try to get the ball out of the mesh.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you know what? Just give me a ball and let me finish this last 12 seconds.
And I don't blame him.
No. He's had a very good game.
Very good game.
Fires it down the field. Ortiz by De Silva. 4 seconds left. De Silva kicks it down the floor. It's headed away by Ortiz. That'll do it. And the Blast come out with the victory. And they handily defeat Rochester by a final of 12-3. Blast scored the only goal of the fourth quarter. Mello from Pereira. And a great night overall, Lee. Great Hall of Fame at halftime, and a solid victory for the Blast against Rochester.
Yeah, just a great night from beginning to end. I think the Blast did a great job of doing what they had to do. It was a little bit sloppy, but you know what? It was never in doubt.
Blast ran out to a 5-0 lead. It was 6-2 after 1 quarter of play, 7-3 at the half. Blast extended that lead. They scored all 4 goals in the third quarter to make it 11-3. And Jonathan Mello with the tally in the fourth. Made it 12-3 Blast. Mello with a goal and 3 assists. Vinny Dantas with a couple of goals and a couple of assists. Also throw Tony Donatelli in there. He had 2 goals and an assist. Jeremy Raley got on the board tonight as well. Couple of goals for Jeremy Raley. Juan Pereira as well. 2 goals and an assist for the Blast.
I tell you, Jeremy had a really solid game tonight. Quiet, but did a lot of good things. When the game was a little bit hectic, he really broke up a number of 3v2, 2v1s.
Take a look at the save of the game. William didn't have a lot of action, but right here, able to get a hand on it, kick it wide, and then we talked about that. He parried it to himself and didn't allow a rebound on that play. As Sharp in goal again tonight for the Blast. Let's head down to the field. Andrew Primrose.